Peace and blessings to each and every one of you guys. It is the Bad Wolf. Let's get into it. It's the Bad Wolf Hour. All right, guys. So this particular video is about right to travel, but it's also about what we should be doing. A lot of you guys don't understand the amount of power that you guys have, and you're sitting on it. Now, if these things mean something to you, obviously you should take part in it. So if you're doing right to travel, like I do, what you're about to read next is something that you guys should be putting together. This was sent to me, and I do like the information contained in it. Uh, I will probably, unless I hear from the person, put it up for free viewing for people to download and emulate. Um, there's no direct personal information on there, or any critical information. And this is their letter that they wanted to send out to letters and the heads of their state and police officers, by means of the police captain and sheriffs. The rest of you guys who watch these videos, sure, some of you guys don't do right to travel, and so you don't have to do these things, but it's not only emphasizing your rights, okay, contained here as far as right to travel, but other rights that you're doing. See, the only way that we're going to keep and maintain our rights is if people use them. And if everybody has to fight and argue and whatever as individuals without numerous people putting pressure on them, then they see no reason to change. They absolutely know you have these rights. But the hard part is uphill. See, everything that they do, they put on the public side. It's readable, calculable, there's a number, it's enumerated, et cetera, et cetera. Well, your rights in the private don't come with that because they're under common sense, common law. But they want to then try to go after you, pursue you, charge you, fine you as if you're a member of theirs because they can find your name in the system. This is one of the reasons why you must do things outside of your legal name or identify that I'm operating in my given name, my faith based name, my private name. I'm not operating in legal public capacity. If you don't even break some of those things down from the beginning of the get go, you're like a girl I took home from the club, and you're in my bedroom and you're half naked, and you're like, well, all I'm saying is don't pull my hair, and I'm not sure if I really, I'm not sure what I'll want to do. I mean, and then like, we're going at it now, you know, because like you're just all I'm hearing from you is you're not sure what you all want to do. So from my perspective, that could mean you don't want a pickle in your butt. Shout out to Brandon Joe Williams. Um, but it could mean that you just don't, you said you don't want your hair pulled. Okay, cool. That doesn't mean you don't want to do this or that. So that's how they look at it. They're bringing you in on like a quasi state, and because you're not clarifying things properly, they're like, well, let's just see what happens. Can't stop, won't stop. Bad boy. Diddy. So let's take a look at this particular letter and either copy this one or check my free document, page 2. I'll have this up there at some point in time, unless I hear. If you don't see it on page 2, letter to the senators, just means that the creator doesn't want it up and available. All right, which maybe then I'll pull a video down if he doesn't want that up there. But I believe he does want this mentioned. I don't have anything saying that he doesn't want it on there. So we'll keep it semi-private-ish, but like I said, there's no specific key personal indicators of critical information. All right, so let's get that ready. Okay, so this is coming from a national in California who's got his own tribe. Okay, and this was written back in 24. Okay, it's not going to let me. Let's see. Do I have any tools? Audio?
National
Okay, yeah, it's not going to let me do it. All right, so I'll just kind of read through it. It says to all U.S. senators, governors, and representatives, urgent call for a comprehensive traffic law reform and nationwide education on constitutional rights. Dear esteemed leaders, I hope this message finds you well. As a concerned citizen of the United States, I'm reaching out to bring to your attention a critical issue that requires immediate action, the need for comprehensive reform of current traffic laws and that infringe upon our constitutional right to travel freely. All right. So here it just talks about then the issues at hand. Decriminalization of minor traffic infractions. We urge the reclassification of non-criminal administrative violations such as expired vehicle registration, lapsed insurance, minor paperwork issues, eliminate criminal penalties. None of these things should be criminal penalties in the first place. If you look up the merits that constitute a criminal action, they're not criminal. People are being falsely criminalized. All right. So then he goes on to talk about the protection of your constitutional rights to do freedom of travel or right to travel. All right. Whereas people don't right to travel, you know, getting excessive fines, vehicles impounded, arrests for minor nonviolent infractions. See, we don't even qualify for this. We don't qualify for arrest unless we're doing something criminal. They're using statutes for 14th Amendment U.S. citizens and legal persons against us when we're operating under freedom of movement, right to travel. Now, here he kind of mentions the constitutional right to travel from one state to another state, which is true. But like certain, guru freedom hating, but speak of freedom loving individuals mention, you have a constitutional right to travel from one state to another state, and it goes on to talk about more of this. But it's also what is implied in there. What is implied? The freedom of movement to go from one place to another place. The word freedom then means that it's not restricted. It's not regulated. Freedom of movement from one state to another state means you're able to go from here to there unregulated, unrestricted, which means non-commercial. So we do have a constitutional right. Overhaul of traffic enforcement system. It impacts low-income individuals who serve as a revenue generating mechanism. Yeah, because the the courts, the state, the police, that is a revenue, they're for profit. They do work on fine structures and eliminate, and they have quotas. The fines do not stop people, low income people, from doing what they want to do. They should not have quotas. Quotas imply that not that they shouldn't make money on individuals who are truly a threat and problems, but to say you as a cop must go out there and write 100 tickets per week or whatever, you're forcing cops to do illegal things. Here's somebody who didn't break the law, but you're forcing them to say, well, I believe you did. That's ticketing for profit. You're taking away people's rights. That is a violation of the contract. The contract states that if I am not speeding, I should not be ticketed. You got cops out here unfairly going after people of color, low income, low intelligence, and writing false tickets. We call for the establishment of strict guidelines to limit police discretion during traffic stops, aiming to prevent over-policing, harassment, unnecessary confrontations. Law enforcement should focus on addressing legitimate public safety threats rather than enforcing minor administrative regulations where they're policing for profit, writing tickets for profit. When's the last time you even heard of a police officer solving a, well, I guess I shouldn't really say it like that, but understand that detectives solve unaliving cases. Regular police are for traffic safety. Now, what's funny is I see a lot of them not doing their job. If I was the police, man, I could have written so many tickets. In Delaware versus Prose, they emphasize that arbitrary stops without reasonable suspicion violates the Fourth Amendment. Yes, because a police officer has to have RAS, reasonable articulate suspicion of a crime. He should not be pulling you over for something that's not looking like a crime or you're in an act of a crime. A private plate is not a crime. No plate is not a crime. But if he believes you not having a plate on there or improperly, done to their state policies for a licensed driver, a member of theirs, they can do. Somebody doing right to travel, if everything's right, the only thing that they should do is just smile and nod. Unless you're doing something criminal or dangerous. That's when their police powers kick in. And they're asking for nationwide education for public and law enforcement. So they're saying that citizens should be made aware of their rights. Well, the law also states that the public side has no authority to educate people on their private rights and constitutional rights and things of that nature. So that won't probably happen. But should law enforcement be educated? Absolutely. Have my videos been used in legal departments and in back rooms of places that I will never be invited to? Absolutely. Have some of my videos been used to educate law enforcement, board members, police officers, and commanding officers, chief of police? Absolutely. Why this matters. The preservation of fundamental freedoms to promote justice and equality. But they don't want justice and equality. If justice and equality were perfect, then we wouldn't need them, and then that multi-million-dollar moneymaker would be out the window. Enhancement of public trust in law enforcement. Absolutely. Most people don't trust law enforcement because they see cops getting away with bullshit, senators and other cops not being prosecuted, certain people not getting prosecuted, average people being harassed and bullied and locked up. So, yeah. A powerful affirmation to right to travel. Here's an eloquent statement about the law applied to motor vehicles. Babbitt Section 35, 105. The right of the public to use the highways and the right to use them for the purpose of travel, okay, and commerce, these are two separate things, by any method not of itself calculated to prevent a reasonable, safe use of the highways by others. The rights of all travelers, not the same as commerce, talking about something different now, in the same genre, but not both of these, just the one, on the highways are reciprocal. The law of the road requires that every man restrain his speed of the vehicle. This is public safety. An officer should not bother you, cannot bother you legally as a traveler unless you're doing something that then invokes his powers of safety and public administration. Public administration means governance over commercial vehicles. Public safety over anybody on the road not being safe. Such bounds as will not endanger others, considering the place and circumstances. Meaning on ramps, maybe even off ramps, higher posted speed areas, and circumstances would mean I had explosive diarrhea or my wife's pregnant. The roads are open and free to all on equal terms, meaning they can be used for public and private use. That is to all complying with the reasonable regulations of the duly constituted authorities. The fundamental idea of a highway is not only that it is public, but that it is public for free and unmolested passage thereon. Well, free for public for free and unmolested passage, that's private use by all persons desiring to use it. All inhabitants of said township and other good citizens of the Commonwealth going, returning, passing, and repassing in, along, and through the highway. The use of highway is not a privilege, but a right, and limited by the rights of others and exercised in a reasonable manner. Okay, then there's a call to action here. Okay, so if you want, you guys can play the video and just have your chat or whatever else transcribe this. All right, and make your own version of it. Okay, and then here he mentions some references. These are not all of them, but some of them. So, what is this really? This is a call to action. This is a call that if you want your rights, send them your senators, your congresspeople, your chief of police, your head sheriff, your district attorney, attorney general. Let them know you know what your rights are. Let them know that your rights, as long as they don't infringe on other people or doing criminal things, are unlimited if you want to keep your rights. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you, me and my boy, the Wolf here. Make sure that you guys check out Black Site 32 right now, because up here in the corner should be popping a little listing that says on May 10th and May 24th, we will be doing a live Zoom conference worldwide for private citizens, national. So that is our public call to action. Join me over there, support me over there, come and listen to me talk. A lot of people wanted me to travel around state to state. Well, let's see if we can even do the Zoom. If we can get enough people in the Zoom and there seems to be a desire for people to want me to travel, maybe I will. Till then, I'm not going to just show up somewhere for like 10 or 20 people, you know, and I'm not charging $200 or $300. Okay. So, you don't have to worry about that. There is still a fee. Okay. But it is not atrocious. And for that fee, you're getting 4, 5, 6 different consultations, 4, 5, 6 different speakers who all want you to live a better life. So if you guys want to know the information, you guys want to be able to ask questions, you guys want to hear what other questions people have, what they've done, how they're being successful in the private, then join me over there. You got about a month, and then from there we'll see about how and when we're going to do it. But keep coming back to Black Site 32 to that conference page, because we will have updates further into the future on other conferences. And none of them are going to be the same. Each one of them are going to be on different topics, different combinations of topics, and different speakers. I'll catch you guys there. Take care. Woo! Wolf's out.